I did it. I finally finished crocheting all 50 cards in this Granny Square card deck, and I'm sharing the last 7 with you in today's episode of Granny Square Sunday. Plus, you're going to get a sneak peek at all the 50 squares that I crocheted. Hey, it's Tammy, Crafty Mompreneur. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I have spent the last, 10 weeks or so, maybe it's been 11, I can't really remember, crocheting all the 50 cards from this Granny Square card deck by Claire Montgomery. This project originally started back with this episode where I learned that I had purchased a dupe deck, plagiarized, whatever you want to call it, and did it completely by mistake. I had no idea that I was getting a copy that was not by the original author, and I was kind of just really bugged about it. So I decided that I was going to crochet my way through all 50 cards. Now, because crocheting granny squares is something that is rather new to me, I was not going to try and commit to crocheting them all in like a week or two. I took it slow and I did about 5 every single week. And so that's what this series has been about. In these episodes, I have been sharing the 5 cards that I crocheted. All the cards are numbered, and so I was comparing the corresponding numbers from the dupe deck to the original deck. And then I was picking new cards for the next week, which we don't have to do today because your girl is done crocheting all 50 cards. Instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a peek at all 50 of the granny squares that I crocheted. And then I would share projects that you can do with granny squares. And I'm going to talk to you at the very end about some possible projects I'm considering with all of these squares. So that's the lineup for today's video. So let's get into it. And yes, today I'm in a new background. Everybody's home and my husband's watching football and my daughter's in her room, and there was really no place quiet to go. And so I took over my husband's office. So that's where we are today. So here are the cards that we crocheted this week. Well, I crocheted this week. You guys didn't do them. So here they all are. And what I'll do is I'm just gonna show you because that's what we do. All right, so this one was the first one that I did this week. It was your basic granny square. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Someone did point out that, yeah, these are going to be a little bit bigger because I do a magic ring in the middle. Here's the first one. Card number 2. I like that this has the like little jaggedy edge. It's kind of fun. And then the next one. I feel like I've finally kind of gotten the gist of how to do granny squares. I will say that there were a couple in here that I was challenged a little bit. And then, I don't know, I really like this color combination. I like bright colors. Is that focusing? I think it is. It's probably just my eyes that's not focusing. Here's the next one. I think this one's pretty. I'm not sure. One of these I know I messed up. Was it this one? On one of them, I did put accidentally. I put 4 crochets in the corner. I think it was this one. No, that one's 3. I'm all about sharing my mistakes. But anyways, I think I should do that one. This one. Maybe it was this one. No, I was good on this one. One last look. And then my last card that I did, this was the final square that I crocheted. I did do a time lapse of this one, so I'm going to show you that real quick. And then here it is all completed. My oldest daughter was the one that gifted me with the original box after I had purchased the dupe. She bought me this for my birthday. I had her pick the last card that I was going to do from this week's cards, and this was it. And you haven't seen this blue before because she picked that blue. The blue that I had been using for that was that blue, and she liked the darker blue. So I might have to do a special project with this one because this blue won't be in any of the squares. So those are this week's squares, and that's the last of them. That's all said. If you've followed this series from the beginning, you have seen all 50 squares completed. The next thing we're going to do is compare these cards to the corresponding numbers in the dupe deck and see if we have any cards that are exactly the same design, numbered the same, and all that. The card on the right is going to be from the original, and the card on the left is from the dupe deck. So first one. We have another exact duplicate. This is going to be card number 40. 40 matches. Same pattern, same color scheme. Duped. Duped. Okay, so we did see one exact duplicate out of this batch. Like I said in previous videos, if you've seen other videos, there haven't been that many that have been identical, like total knockoffs of Claire Montgomery's deck. However, it has been pointed out to me that people have seen some of the other dupe deck designs in books and other things. It's likely this company that came out with this dupe deck literally just took designs from other things that were out on the internet and then created a deck of cards based on things that they just found on the internet rather than coming up with their own designs. So like if you've ordered one of these card decks and your box did not look like this, it's likely that you were also duped, and this is what my dupe deck looked like. So the same design on the front, just at a different perspective. Like it's smaller, this one's smaller, the box is smaller, subtle differences, but you can tell it's a total knockoff. Anyways, next thing that I want to do is I want to share with you 7 different projects that you can do with granny squares, because I'm not still at this point, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with all these squares, but I wanted to be able to give you guys something to take away from this video. And so today I have for you 7 different things that you can make with granny squares. I will be popping a picture up here on the screen of each thing, and then in the description box below I will be sharing with you exactly where you can find those. The first one was a suggestion, I think, from someone in the comments, and I was able to find this Christmas tree from Repeat Crafter Me that you can make with one single granny square, and it's simply by just folding it a certain way and stitching it together, you can come up with a Christmas tree. Now, my squares that I've made are all pretty colorful, so I'm not sure this would really work for the granny squares that I've created. But it is an idea that you can make with granny squares. Another idea that came from the comments was a skirt, and so I found this mini skirt by the Dream Crochet on Ribbler, and this one's a mini skirt, but you could also add a couple rows of granny squares and make it a longer skirt, and so I felt like this was a cute option for what you can do with granny squares. This, you'd have to really line it or wear shorts underneath of it because, I mean, granny squares are see-through, so. And I'm not sure if this pattern gives you directions on lining it, but I guess you could always just wear shorts under it, right? I don't know. The third one is from Poppy Creates, and this is chair covers. Now, you could do something like this, where it's like one big granny square just repeated over and over, or you could put a few granny squares together and then, you know, create the whole chair cover that way. So I do not think that I've shared that idea in one of my previous 9 videos. Number 4 is baskets. And while I might have shared a basket before, I don't think I've shared this particular pattern for a basket. And the thing that caught my attention about this one is it had yarn in it. So I thought, I needed a place to store yarn. So a yarn basket might be kind of fun to make with these granny squares. The next thing is a poncho. And I think I've shared sweaters in the past, but never a poncho. And so I found this tutorial on YouTube from Watch Me Knit, and it's a free tutorial that you can follow along with to make a granny square poncho. The next is this cute little pin cushion. It looks like it just needs maybe one granny square on the top, I think. And then you'd also need some sort of lining to put the stuffing in and stuff, you know. I definitely use a pin cushion, so I could use a granny square to make a pin cushion. And then my last and final suggestion for what to do with granny squares is this granny square top. I found this pattern for a granny square top on spotlightstores.com. It is a free pattern that you can download, and I just thought it was a cute little top. So that's my 7 ideas that you can make with granny squares. And now let's have a little sneak peek at all of my granny squares. Okay, here they all are in all their glory. My 50 granny squares from the Granny Square card deck. See if I can zoom out. And now to decide what I should do with them. Okay, after seeing all the granny squares laid out, I'm kind of thinking that I may want to do a cardigan with a bunch of the corresponding colors that go well together, but I've never made a cardigan before, so this is where you come in. And for those of you that crochet granny squares and have made a cardigan before, I want you to drop your favorite cardigan pattern or layout. And I like a more baggy feel, I want a comfy cardigan. This has been such a fun series, going through this card deck and crocheting all 50, that I do think I'm going to keep up with Granny Square Sundays, and I haven't decided 100% sure what book or what series I'm going to start next. For the next couple Sundays, it will just be Granny Square related content, and after the first of the year, we'll dive into a new book or a new something where I will crochet my way through whatever I decide. I think I might use one of the Sundays to kind of sort and go through all the granny squares to come up with some project ideas based off of all the project ideas I've been sharing. Another Sunday is going to be all 50 of the granny square projects that I've shared throughout this series. So that's the plan going forward with Granny Square Sunday. So Granny Square Sunday is not going away. We're going to continue. It has given me, a way to have a designated topic for Sundays, which has been nice. I really do enjoy crocheting granny squares, so I think I'm definitely going to continue with Granny Square Sundays. So that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, because on Tuesday, it's our first Tuesday of the month, which means it's time for another YouTube channel update. This is where I go through my monthly stats of my channel. I originally started sharing content on this channel back in August and decided that I wanted to get my channel monetized. So every week I would share where I was at in that journey to getting my channel monetized. And you could follow along with that playlist there if you wanted to see the growth of my channel. And so on the first Tuesday of every month, I share kind of how the last month went, how much I made, what my analytics looked like, and that kind of thing. So that's going to be the topic for Tuesday's video. So if you want to tune in for that, make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified when that video goes live. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye. Originally I started and got a hair in my eye. And I really do like making or crocheting. I really do enjoy, because on Tuesday, is my video on Tuesday? I don't remember. And don't forget to subscribe.